Hello, welcome to Calculus. This is part 2 of our Calculus series. Today's video, we shall be looking at differentiation from first principle. This is a method used to find the derivative of a function. Derivatives of a function represents the rate at which the function's output changes with respect to its input. For example, the derivative of f of x is written as f phi of s. Also, it can be written as dy dx. So this is the symbol we use to represent a function that has been differentiated. This is one of the formula we use to find the differentiation from first principle. It is given as f open bracket s plus h minus f of s over h as h tends to 0. For us to use this formula, we have 4 steps. The first step is to substitute f of s into the formula. It means that wherever you see x, x becomes x plus h. Where you have 2x, for example, it becomes 2 brackets open x plus h. So whenever you see, for example, we have x squared becomes x plus h all squared. So if, for example, the function is x, it means that our s becomes s plus h. If, for example, the function is 2x, this becomes 2 open bracket s plus h. If, for example, the function is x squared, this becomes s plus h all squared. Step 2 is to expand this function right here. We expand this function right here in the numerator. Then step 3 is to simplify the numerator, or you factorize or you cancel h with the denominator. Then the last step is to evaluate the remaining expressions as h tends to 0. I will show us 2 examples of how we can use this formula to differentiate from first principle. Here is our first question. We're asked to differentiate f of s. So we have f of x equal to 2x. So how do we do this? Remember, our formula is f phi of x is equal to, we have the limit as h tends to 0, f x plus h minus f of x over h. So this is our formula. Remember, I said earlier on that if you have 2x, 2x becomes, or 2x becomes 2 open bracket x plus h. So therefore, this equation becomes 2 times s plus h. So therefore we have our limit. So we replace this with this. So we now have 2 open bracket x plus h minus our f of x is 2x. So which is 2x over h. This is step 1. Step 2 is to expand or simplify this numerator. So what we do is that these 2, we multiply everything in this bracket, then we can simplify. So let's continue. So we have our limit. We have our limit as h tends to 0. So here we have 2 times x is 2x. 2 times plus h is plus 2h. minus 2x all over h. So the step 3 is for us to simplify this equation. So again, here we have 2x, we have 2x. What we do is to group like terms. So I can say, therefore, we have our limit as h tends to 0. So we have 2x minus 2x. So I will group it. So we have 2x minus 2x plus 2h over h. So 2x minus 2x is 0. So we're left with 2h. So therefore we have limit h tends to 0. So we have 2h over h. What next? We can cancel h. So what we are left with is just what? 2. So therefore, the differentiation of f of x equal to 2x is 2. So this is our answer. Here is the next question. We're asked to differentiate f of x is equal to 2x squared. Again, our equation is f prime of x is equal to the limit h tends to 0, f open bracket s plus h minus f of x over h. So right now, remember that 2x squared 2x squared is same as saying 2 open bracket s becomes s plus h squared or squared. So what we do now is to replace this equation, this equation right here, with this. So we now have limit h tends to 0. So this becomes this. So this is equal to f of s plus h. So therefore we have 2 open bracket s plus h or squared minus f of x over h. Right. So our next step is to expand this equation. Now we have x plus h squared. For you to expand this, you have to be familiar with your binomial theorem. If you want us to show you how to solve binomial theorem, leave a comment in the section, leave a comment below, and we shall make a video on binomial theorem. But to do this now, we can just expound on this. So s plus h all squared, s plus h all squared is same as saying x plus h times x plus h. All right. So x times x is x squared plus x times plus h is xh plus h times x is plus xh plus h times h is h squared. So therefore, we have x squared plus sh plus sh is 2sh plus h squared. So therefore, s plus h all squared gives us this. So I will replace this with this. So therefore, we have our limit as h tends to 0 is equal to 2 open brackets. This is this. So we have s squared plus 2xh plus h squared minus f of x is same as saying 2x squared. Remember in the question, we are given that f of x is 2x squared. So our f of x is 2x squared over h. So what next is for us to simplify the numerator by multiplying everything in the bracket by 2. So our next step, limit as h tends to 0 is equal to 2 times x squared is 2x squared. 2 times plus 2sh is plus 4sh, and 2 times plus h squared is plus 2h squared minus 2x squared over h. So the next thing we do here, the next thing we do here is to simplify the numerator. As you can see, we have 2s squared here, and we have 2s minus 2s squared here. That means that what we do now is to group. So what we do is we'll collect the similar terms, and we have 2x squared, we have 2s squared. So we can say therefore we have our limit as h tends to 0 is what? We have 2s squared minus 2s squared. So we have 2s squared minus 2x squared plus 4sh plus 2h squared over h. Now, our next step is step 3 is to simplify the numerator. Now, as you can see, 2s squared minus 2s squared is gone. That's 0. So we're left with 4sh plus 2h squared over h. So again, therefore we have our limit as h tends to 0 is 4sh plus 2h squared over h. We can factorize the numerator. So we have what? We have our limit as h tends to 0. So we have h, so I'll take 1. So I will have h open bracket, h divide 4sh, that will give us 4x, plus h divide 2h squared, that will give us 2h. So I just factorize the numerator over h. If you want to learn how to factorize, let me know in the comment section and we shall make a video on factorization. So now we have h, so h cancel h. So we're left with limit h tends to 0. We have left with 4x plus 2h. Now, since we still have h in the equation, we can substitute h for 0. Remember, the limit here means that as h tends to 0. So if h is equal to 0, so therefore we have what? We now have 4x plus 2, h is 0. So that gives us 4s is 4s, 2 times 0 is 0. So our answer is 4s. So the derivative of 2x squared is 4s. So this is how we differentiate from first principle. Here is a question for you. Please do this question on a paper, take a screenshot, and send to our email that you see in the description below, and we shall respond to you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.